Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone. I hope that you're having an amazing day. Excited to be joining you. And my goodness, it is already August. I don't know if that's taking you by surprise, but I have been just surprised at how fast time seems to be going. And this is a perfect time for us to check in and just make sure, are we remaining balanced, focused? Are we continuing to mindfully and purposely pursue those things that matter most to us? As the seasons are shifting and changing and we are getting ready for the end of the year, because now we're closer to that than we are to the beginning of the year, it's a really important process to make sure that we're remembering to check in and to make sure that we're on track and on purpose. Today, our amazing guest, I know you're going to love him and his energy and his personality and all that he brings to the table. And he has been able to accomplish so many amazing things, but at the same time, be able to have clarity and direction on what he's bringing forward. So he is extremely accomplished and really passionate about helping people find their potential and bring forward those things that matter most. So I know that you're going to enjoy what he has to share with us. And we today are focusing on how to, stop drifting, stop being an autopilot, but really pursue those things that matter most to us in life. So as we check in here in August and we're looking at falling into balance, I want to put that into the context of really making sure that we are pursuing those things that matter most to us. Not just doing, not in autopilot, but with mindfulness and purposefulness, bringing forward those things that matter most. So with that as a way to open and connect, let's take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth like through a straw. As you're breathing and you're noticing that beautiful oxygen coming in and circulating throughout your body, picture it bringing oxygen, nutrients, those things that are supportive to you, to every cell in your body, becoming part of you. As you breathe out and we slow down a little bit, become present, picture yourself releasing those things that no longer serve, therefore creating room for more. That's the key to creating room for more, is releasing, taking things off our plate that no longer serve, creating room for more to bring forward. So as you're breathing, you're feeling that support. I invite you to close your eyes. You're absolutely safe. And take a moment and check in with curiosity. How are you doing today? What is it you need? What will support you, empower you to step forward in those areas that matter most to you? What do you need? Real time. That you are willing to receive because you absolutely have choice. So as you're breathing, just see what comes forward, what it is that you need and are willing to receive. Beautiful. Let's take another breath. Come back into the room fully present and take a moment to write down what was laid on your heart that you need and are willing to receive because you absolutely have choice. So what is it that you need? Let's write that down. Let's keep it top of mind, not just have it flip past you, but let's really capture it, interact with it, and that will support you for our conversation today. Because our intention is to help support you to bring forward those things that are going to be most supportive to you. So have that paper and pen ready as we'll continue our conversation and we go deeper into those things to serve and support you. But as we're in this heart space and you're writing down your thoughts, Albert, I'd love for you to share what was laid on your heart when we took a moment to stop pause, and listen.
Wow. What was laid on my heart was this is exactly the type of meditation that we go through in our daily study program with Napoleon Hill Institute, bringing us into the moment, the present, and helping us to focus while we educate everyone on the teachings of Napoleon Hill. We're completing the science of personal achievement, and everyone in the course is so excited to hear what is the next book. Because Napoleon Hill only wrote 170 books.
Only. Beautiful.
Right.
Thank you for sharing. I know, an incredible accomplishment. I love it. Well, this is great. And listeners, I love that this reminder of coming into that present moment, how important that is and foundational to the work that we can do to bring ourselves forward. So we're going to get into Napoleon Hill in a little bit. So that's just a little bit of a teaser. I'd like us all to stay present and really see what's speaking to your heart and mind. I know for me, it was this reminder again to take those deep breaths, to be present, and lean into those connections and time that we have together. It's really precious. It's special when we can connect in together. And I don't want to miss a moment of that. So I just was reminded of that as we take a moment to stop, pause, and truly connect. As we go to our first commercial break, I encourage you to stay present, to really see what's being laid on your heart and spirit, and then we'll be able to weave that into our conversation today. So enjoy these 2 minutes.
Follow Voice America at Facebook.com/Voice America for juicy updates from your favorite radio shows and podcasts.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Voice America programs are now available on your favorite connected device, including Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home. Through streams with Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio, listening to your favorite show is as easy as saying the show name followed by the word podcast.
Hey, Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast.
If that doesn't work, try adding on TuneIn or on iHeartRadio or on Apple Podcasts.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes, that opportunity to be present, to connect, to slow down a little bit and really hear what's being laid on your heart, what's being laid on your mind, what's bubbling up. It's amazing when we can take that 1 minute, 2 minutes and slow down and listen, how much more grounded we feel, how much more connected and clear we can be as we step into our day. So I invite you throughout our show We have built in those 2-minute moments disguised as commercial breaks to support you. So use those 2 minutes for you to integrate, breathe in all that serves as we continue our conversation today. So I'm excited to officially introduce Albert. You heard from him a little bit in the opening segment. So Albert E. Whale is a #1 international best-selling author, an international award-winning author, certified coach with Napoleon Hill Institute, and global security expert. He is passionate about helping you reach your full potential. Please lean in. Warmly welcome the powerful and dynamic Albert E. Whale to the show. Welcome.
Wow, what an introduction, Rebecca. that was powerful. I see everybody standing up and applauding. That's amazing.
Absolutely. My hands are up. Everybody's standing and excited. So welcome. Absolutely thrilled to have you joining us. And I wanted to start our conversation with why this work of helping people reach their full potential. Why is that important to you? Why is that something you dedicate so much time and energy and skills, all of your experience to doing and helping? I'd love to know.
Well, that's a great question. I think that I've always been in service of supporting others, being a consultant, because I have information to deliver, I have value to deliver, and people want to consume what I have to offer, whether it's in IT or cybersecurity or parenting tips, or most recently, it's in how do you create abundance in your life. The works of Think and Grow Rich, 70 million copies have been sold, but not everybody's rich. And the reason why it was written was to help the masses understand that there's a process and capability for everyone to have abundance. This universe is abundant.
Yes.
We should share as much as we can to everyone around the world. There should be no more hunger. There should be no more poverty. There should be a lot of things that can be delivered. And that's what we're helping to do.
I can hear and feel your heart and your passion for this. I love that you're stepping in to help share information and to empower others. And I know I shared just a little bit of a snapshot of you in the opening segment. What I didn't mention is that you wrote 3 award-winning books in less than a year. That is a huge accomplishment. Right. And I'd love for you to share a little bit of how did you do that? How did you manage to do that and stay abundant and stay balanced?
That's a great question. I used the material. I signed up for coaching under Bob Proctor, and my mentor was Cleona O'Hara. When I signed up under Cleona, I was able to change my habits, my views, and my understanding of the world around me so that I could accelerate my growth and make myself not only an award-winning author, but an international best-selling author of not 1, 2, but 3 books in less than a year. That's a quantum leap.
Absolutely. And I'm just letting that sink in for a moment because that's a huge, huge accomplishment. And yet what you mentioned is that by having mentors, having people that supported you, that helped you shift your thinking and approach things a little bit differently, shift some of your habits, you were able to make this quantum step forward in your life, in your business, and what you're doing. Do you mind sharing a little bit about how you would describe a quantum shift like this, or an advisor that can help people do that? I think that's a new concept for a lot of people.
Yes, it is. Quantum physics is something that just makes people's head explode. But if we could just say it simply, it's about all the potential realities being able to occur at the same time. And you're picking which one you want. So being able to understand what is your goal is step number 1. Having a desire and a belief that you can achieve that is step 2. And the commitment to get things done is step 3. What mentors do is they help guide you in creating not only your goal, but also your vision and desire, while also making you accountable to your actions to accomplish what you want. Mm. It's not enough to say, I wish I had money, because the universe doesn't know what you want. Your mind doesn't know what you want. Maybe you walk down the street and you find a dime on the road. That's more money. When in fact, what you really want is $5 million. And maybe you think that's not possible, so maybe you start with 50,000. And when you learn to manifest or create in your reality things that you want to see, then you can grow by changing the goals and making them bigger and helping others achieve their goals as well.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm curious, on your journey, was there one of those steps that was more challenging than the other? And how were you able to shift to conquer that step and kind of own that step?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, when I was offered coaching, the first time I got involved, I was like, no, I can't afford it. That's too much money. And when, in fact, I wasn't putting value on what was going to be delivered, because it was going to be life-changing. Mm-hmm. And if I can create 5 times the value of something's cost in 6 months or a year, isn't that worth it? I mean, how much are you valued at? And if we can increase the goal of getting there, that's the decision that delayed me for so long. But what Cleona taught me was, you know, when you don't need the money until you decide that you want to buy. And when you make that decision, the universe brings it to you, and they show you how you can have what you want and pay for it now.
I love that.
It's that simple.
Well, and it takes that commitment. And yes, I want that. Yes, I'm going to do that. And then stepping in and really looking at the value of what's being delivered, not just the cost, because sometimes we can get caught up in that or have that be the thing that stops us, or not being clear. You're right. A dime is more money, but that's probably not what we really need. So being specific.
Probably not. I mean, I can't get much anymore for a dime. I could probably go to the penny candy store and get 10 pieces of candy, but that's not going to satisfy me. It would satisfy my grandson, but, you know, that's not going to put another house in the equation, or a trip to Aruba. One of my favorite trips is Aruba. Or doing things with my family that I want to. Yeah. Cooking steaks on the grill. You know, everyday things.
Yeah, I love it. And that following those steps and shifting to implement them is so important. So I love that you shared that with us. And as you have done these things and now are helping others do these things, is there a tip you have to help us fall into balance, to stay in balance as we're growing and going through quantum shifts in our life?
Right. Well, with our coaching programs, we give you the recipe on what to do on a daily basis, on what to focus on what to believe. So a lot of things that are going on in our world today really aren't valuable for your life. They're distractions, right? A lot of things that people are focusing on, maybe it's gossip, maybe it's the news, maybe it's Netflix or, you know, soap operas, things like that, really isn't going to help move the needle in your life, giving you a new relationship or financial wealth or better health or things that you want to focus on in achieving and accomplishing. Writing 3 books in under a year. All those things take a little bit of a focus. When you understand what it takes to get where you want to go, life is easy.
I love this. And I think that's a really good point, is taking a moment to see, are there distractions in your life, things that maybe are taking up time and energy, not really necessarily serving where you want to go. Paying attention to that. I know when I was in the financial world, one of the activities I would have my clients do, and they always resisted it, but once they did it, it was so empowering to them. I would have them track their spending and pay attention to where every dollar went. When I worked with advisors and trained them, I'd have them track their time every 15 minutes. Where is the time going? And it was difficult to do, and it was something that people didn't really enjoy. But what happened is when they did that, they discovered they found time. Wow, that's not as important to me as I thought. I didn't realize I was spending that much time doing that, or that many dollars on that. I could harness that money. I could harness that energy. I could harness that time in other ways. And it created a powerful shift. So I think as we go to our next commercial break here, I think it's a great activity to just write that down and try it on. Is that something, a challenge, extra credit bonus opportunity to start paying attention to where you're spending your time, not with judgment, curiosity. And then you can look at what you want to do with that information, because I know Albert's going to have some great tips of what to do with that when we come back. So enjoy these 2 minutes, and we'll look forward to seeing what you discover.
Birdie told me Voice America is on Twitter. Follow us at Voice America TRN.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Voice America programs are now available on your favorite connected device, including Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home. Through streams with Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio, listening to your favorite show is as easy as saying the show name followed by the word podcast.
Hey, Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast.
If that doesn't work, try adding on TuneIn or on iHeartRadio or on Apple Podcasts.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. That's EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you wrote down a couple ideas, something that came to your heart and spirit when you started thinking about how are you spending your time? How are you spending your dollars? Do you know? That was something when I was a financial advisor. A lot of times people didn't know where their dollars were going. They just felt like there wasn't enough. They just weren't sure where they were all going. Same thing with their time. There wasn't enough time. But when they started to drill in and really see where it's going, because here's the deal. Everybody has the same 24 hours. We have the same time. Nobody gets extra time. Nobody's stockpiling the minutes. So how are we choosing? How can we have that time work for us? Our dollars, are we harnessing them all in a way that's really in alignment with what's important to us? So it's important to know where you're at, not with judgment, but curiosity. And then once you know, you can move forward in the areas that matter to you. And so with that, Albert, since I know this is an area of expertise with you, really helping people harness their time and their energy and their brilliance, I'd love for you to share what they can do as they start to discover where their time is really going, where their dollars are really going. What would you suggest they do as they start to discover that?
Well, I think you came up with a really good suggestion, and that's tracking your activities. We did something similar for every half-hour increments. And if you want to go down to the more granular level at 15 minutes, that's great for professionals, but I don't know if everybody wants to get into that minutia of the details. But after you start recording your activities for a day and looking at what are you spending your time on, then you can take a look at what are your goals and are you spending any time, committed effort in achieving those goals? And if the answer is no, then I'm going to say, well, why? Because my clients, when they start to see what they're doing and what they're spending time on, I work with them to get a better understanding on how can they reduce what challenges they have in order to increase the throughput and accelerate the success that they have to get them to that quantum shift and change their life so that 6 months or a year from now, they look back and they say, was I really like that? Oh my gosh. So that's the incredible thing. Looking at what you're doing now can help you change things for the future. But you need the roadmap. You need to understand, what tools you can have to accelerate your growth. And that's what my clients get when we sign up for coaching together.
I love that. I remember one advisor I worked with, and they were really good, and they enjoyed documenting their time. So they loved documenting and observing. And they had this common theme that they called squirrel moments, where they just got sidetracked on something. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Squirrel.
yeah, squirrel, exactly, squirrel moments. And they started to have quite a lot of those. And I remember having conversations with them about, okay, how do we get back on track? Look at all the time that is spent on that. How do you want to harness it differently? And I love what Albert's talking. So you want to make sure that you are seeing what's happening, but then there's a choice. I love that. Why? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to shift things that it's not just enough to observe? Exactly. So I love that we need to do more than observe. And the other thing that I think is really powerful about what you shared is this accountability and having someone come alongside you for those quantum shifts, that it's not necessarily something we do on our own and pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, that really having people come along beside us with programs and expertise and systems and kind of a path to follow. What would you say about that? What would you add to that?
Well, let's look at this. 70 million copies of Think and Grow Rich have been sold in 100 years. We don't have 70 million millionaires in this country right now.
Yeah.
But we could. And the difference there is reading, although it is fundamental, really doesn't move the needle forward in getting you to perform. Mm-hmm. It's what mentors and coaches do. It's their processes. It's their techniques. And with the Napoleon Hill Institute, we have all of the records and references created by Napoleon Hill at our access. We're the only organization that has access to it. Bob Proctor, Tony Robbins, and some of those other personal development gurus claim to be the experts in the field. And what they've done is they've taken Napoleon Hill's book and tried to create different things. Well, we have everything that Napoleon Hill created, including his videos, his audios, and we're creating new materials and new apps. And what I see coming down the roadway, wow, I don't even know if I can talk about this, but there's a tool coming out called the Genesis Code, and I'm excited to try it. Cleona, the CEO for Napoleon Hill Institute, said that I will be the first coach to get to use it. I'm really excited about that.
Oh, I love that. And I love that you're continuing to lean into new tools and new resources to bring so this powerful experience and resources at your fingertips, but also continuing to grow and expand and bring things forward to help support people. I have a question about this, though. When you look at all that you've done and you look at the different people you've had the honor and privilege to work with, is there a favorite part of that? Do you have a favorite thing you just can't get enough of seeing that happens with the clients you work with?
Yeah, I'd say that my favorite thing is that awakening that they encounter when they see that they're growing and that things in their reality have changed. They've made the quantum shift. And that's why I created a group called the Quantum Shift Advisor with Albert Whale on Facebook so that people can get this quantum shift and connect with me easily. And delivering this to people all over the globe is really where I get excited, because now not only are we helping one-on-one, but we're helping change the world globally. We want to create 8 billion free thinkers.
I love it.
It's just a number.
I love it. I love it. So speaking of things that you love, I know that you have created these 3 books that you brought forward in a year, and I'm curious if you could share a little bit about them, because you've mentioned them a couple times. People may want to know, what are these books? I'd love for you to share a little bit about them and where people could get a copy if it's something that calls to them.
Sure. So the first book is called #Hacked. And I had to learn how to use this name nomenclature in this new digital world, but it was hashtag because it's a pound sign. And the word hacked, HACKED. And it's about my journey in cybersecurity and helping organizations improve their security and why I got started, how I got started, and different things that, we need 5 million people in cybersecurity. Perhaps there's an opportunity for someone out there to start in cybersecurity today. And they can understand what kind of opportunities are available in #Hacked. And soon after I won the award for that, and it's on Amazon, #Hacked, or I created a book site, The Hacked Book, HACKEDBOOK.com. Soon after I created that, 14 other professionals came to me and said, we got to be in your next book. And that was exciting, because now I didn't know I had a second book. After writing one in 30 days, I have a second book already, and people are helping me to write it. Well, we completed that in 4 months. The first book I wrote in 8 weeks. I thought, for sure, with 12 people, I can get this done in a month, right? But that didn't happen. It was like herding cats, because they weren't as organized as I was. I had taken that quantum shift, and they were still trying to struggle through. And several of them I had to come and say, look, you got this. Put an hour a day in. And, eventually it all came together, and somebody helped us get #1 international bestseller in 4 countries and 40 categories. Do you know that person, Rebecca?
I do, and I know that team. Honored to be part of that, and we were excited to work with you, get to know you, and support you and your beautiful authors in bringing that powerful book forward. So it was an honor.
Yes, we were blessed, and everyone is still thrilled that they were able to generate that interest and have an opportunity to share the book for everyone. But the third book was my year with Bob. And I was a co-author in this book. The lead author, Cassandra Willis, is from Australia, and people from around the world contributed. She had 12 authors also. I did the editing on the book and helped put everything together. You know, there's a big difference between American English and Australian English.
Yes.
And you don't really get to know that until you get involved in doing editing and formatting for a book, right? But that's part of what I learned. And that book is being shopped around to Hollywood.
Oh, nice. Nice. Is there an anticipated release date, or it's still in kind of the shopping around stage?
We're still shopping.
Okay. So we'll stay tuned and listen.
Stay tuned, because there's more to come.
I love it. Well, we are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. So as we do so, I want you to think about what are some of the things that you want to bring forward that matter to you. Think about these resources that Albert just shared with you. Would those support you, empower you on your journey? How are you carving out time consistently, that hour a day even that he suggested to some of his co-authors? How are you committing, building that into your schedule, building the habits and the practice to consistently bring forward the things that matter most to you? So enjoy these 2 minutes, write down your thoughts, and we'll continue our conversation in just a moment.
Voice America is on your favorite smart speaker. If you have Alexa or Google Home, go ahead and give us a try.
Hey Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast on TuneIn.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
You need to live up to your full potential. You've heard that for years, but now there's a channel to help you get there. Introducing the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Our listeners have told us that they want to be motivated, hear about success stories, and positive encouragement around the clock. And we've responded to you. The Voice America Empowerment Channel is the home of the world's top life coaches, entrepreneurs, and success experts. Listen to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's here at voiceamericaempowerment.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Find out what makes the most successful people tick. Keep listening to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. voiceamericaempowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes, and I hope you wrote down some things that you're excited about, that matter to you, that you want to bring forward, and maybe an idea or two of how you can practically, purposely take steps towards that. Maybe it is an hour a day. Maybe it's tracking time. Maybe it's paying attention to where your dollars are going and tracking some of that so that you really know where your time and your energy and resources are going, so that you can look at how can there be more of a focus, if needed, on the things you're wanting to bring forward to make those quantum shifts, not just a small shift in your life. Those shifts are all good, but really looking at how can I make that quantum shift really bring things forward powerfully. Consider bringing aboard a mentor or coach, someone who can come alongside you and support you and help you move forward in powerful and dynamic ways. I feel like Albert has given us some really great suggestions and ideas and has shared some of what he's been able to do and bring forward. So it's a great role model for us, great for us to explore how we can do that in our life as well. Now, Albert has lots of different ways that you can lean in and get involved, from leaning into some of his books that are out there and can support you on the journey. And he's also talked a little bit about his coaching program that he has and he's part of, and different programs he's helping other people bring forward those things that matter most. So I wanted to take a couple moments and have you share a little bit about upcoming projects, as well as how people can learn more, explore where to start with some of exploring, seeing if you might be a coach or mentor, or your program might be supportive to them.
Sure. So there are plenty of opportunities. We have 3 different levels of programs from Napoleon Hill Institute. And as a certified coach, I'm offering the opportunity for other people who want to be of service and have a business of their own, get that training and start their own business as a coach. Or if they're not interested in coaching, we have the mentorship program, which first got me involved with Bob Proctor. But Bob's no longer here. And we have all the resources that all of these other personal development people have utilized, but we are the only licensed franchise holder for that material. So I've been through mentorship, and I've been through the coaching program, and having received my certification, you know, they've released me. Actually, they wanted me to get started a long time ago, but for whatever reasons, I have made that quantum shift and changed what I'm doing, enjoying every minute of it as well. And for those that just want to have a good book read or a study program, we have that as well. We have a daily study called Study and Grow Rich, but it's more about talking about the books and less about giving you the material to help change your life. So if you want to get started and really don't want to invest in yourself, which I don't really see that as being a starter, that's why I don't offer it as much. But we do have a public forum, an open, what do they call that? We have a public day on Fridays for the Study and Grow Rich program to introduce open house. That's what I was looking for. To introduce people into the Napoleon Hill Institute. And if you email me, I'll send you a link to get you connected so that you can get the Friday study at 10 a.m. We have one every week. I can get you connected, and then we can stay in contact and see how you're developing and when you're ready to make that quantum shift. I also have a book planned.
No, I love this. So let me just because there's so much that you're bringing forward. So I love this wonderful way for people to get to know Napoleon Hill Institute a little bit. That there's kind of that taster level for people to participate in, and then those who feel that call that want to get support, want to look at making those quantum shifts, and have mentors, coaches, a structure, program to kind of help them. That is available as well. So I love that you're leaning in and offering that. And listeners, I think it's really great to feel in and see what feels in alignment there and kind of where are you on that journey. I know that you believe and are interested in living on purpose and with purpose as one of our listeners, that personal growth is important to you. So here's an opportunity to consider adding that to how you're being supported on your journey. So with that, do you mind sharing the email? Because you mentioned if they send you an email. So what is your email?
My email, it's really hard. It's albert@albertwhale.com or albert@quantumshiftadvisor.com. Both will reach me.
Oh, I love that. So they can choose. It's brilliant.
You get a choice. You get a choice in this world, in this life, and we have limited time, like you said earlier. But nobody has really given us an instruction manual on how to live that life, have they? Well, we're giving you the instructions on how you can achieve the life of your dreams.
Brilliant. I love it. And then I heard you mention you have another project coming up, so I'd love for you to share about that as well.
Yeah, there's 3 books that are in the pipeline, but the most current release is going to be Getting Unhacked. So I wrote the Hacked series with a focus on cybersecurity. But Getting Unhacked is all about my journey and some of the other coaches that are going to co-author with me in getting their mind free so that they could live the life of their dreams, and what mentorship and coaching has done for them.
Beautiful. I love that.
That will probably take to Hollywood as well.
Beautiful.
I mean, look at the success for The Secret, right?
I know. It's great. No, I love it. I love that you're bringing that forward. And won't that be exciting, listeners, to hear some of the behind the scenes stories of how getting that support, getting untangled and being able to move forward in such a powerful way has made such a change in people's lives. And I love that people are willing to pull back the curtain and share some of that journey with us so we can see their growth. So if people are interested in following you, they're interested in being on your list for when the books are coming out, learning more about programs, what is the best way for people to do that?
Probably to either connect with the Quantum Shift Advisor on Facebook, or you could follow me on LinkedIn, Albert Whale, or you can just send me an email and I'll put you on a mailing list so that when activities come up, you can be one of the first to receive updates on progress for new offerings, new programs, and what's latest today.
Perfect. Beautiful. I love it. Well, thank you so much for sharing. And I wanted to kind of bring back some of what we talked about in the beginning as we're looking about really pursuing a life of clarity and purpose, that we're not drifting, we're not in autopilot. And a key to that is falling into balance, finding our balance. So do you have a final tip, piece of advice, or wisdom you can share with us today that we can start to implement now?
Yes. We just had a program at Napoleon Hill. It was a 3-day public program. It was called From Drifters to Leaders. And basically, what we showed you were the problems that people have today with the distractions and all the activities that are going on, which are taking their attention away from what they really want. And focusing on problems that are not what you want brings more of those problems to you. If you look at your bank account, how many zeros are in the balance? Or is the balance zero? And you keep staring at a zero balance, you're going to get more of the zero balance. what if you took a bank statement and wrote $1 million on it, and you started focusing on abundance instead of deficit or neglect or, not having? Those are the problems in our society today. We always want more, and we always want more than our neighbors, or we get jealous of it, but we don't really understand that we can create our own reality and live life on our terms instead of having life deal us what we're experiencing.
Beautiful. So really, really paying attention on what we're focusing on. Are we focusing on what we don't have, what we want, less of or more of, or are we really focusing on what we want and putting energy and time to that? I think that's a really good piece of advice.
One small portion, that's one tip on how to get out of where you are, but it may not be the solution for everybody. So that's why we have a whole recipe, a process, proven over 100 years.
Beautiful.
These tools have made other people millionaires. They can make you one too.
Beautiful. I love it. We're just giving a tip, a taste for us to think about as we explore some of these things that we can start to implement and bring forward. So, Albert, I just thank you so much for joining us today and your wisdom, your insight. Can you give us your contact information one more time, just in case anyone missed it?
Absolutely. Albert at Albert Whale like the mammal, WHALE.com, or Albert at QuantumShiftAdvisor.com. I'm also on Facebook with the Quantum Shift Advisor public group. And I have Instagram access and Facebook access and too many social media things going on. But those three elements, the email and the Facebook group, will get you most everything that you need to get in contact with me so that I can help you further.
Perfect. Well, thank you again for joining us today. I appreciate it very much. And thank you for the insights that you have shared with our listeners.
It's my pleasure. I'm here to serve.
And listeners, I want to thank you for tuning in and joining us today. I hope that you have some great notes on your notebook there and some things that you're going to proactively implement, not just observe, though it's good to observe and know, but implement and take action. I invite you at the end of today's show, instead of just rushing back into the day, take a moment to breathe, connect, revisit what matters most to you. And as you step back into the day, keep that top of mind as you're making choices and how you're spending time and how you're choosing to connect with others. As you are choosing what you do, where you go, make sure those things are in alignment with what matters most to you. We'd love to support and continue to encourage you on your journey. So absolutely, you can lean in and follow us. We are also on Facebook. And if you would like to get added to our email list, you can go to our website, which is yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. And there's a form at the bottom of the page where you can get added to our list. And also, if you want to have a conversation, there's a button you can click there as well to ask to set up a time to talk. So know that we are here to serve and support you. We are excited to have you on this journey with us. And I want you to know that you are beautifully, powerfully, and wonderfully made for such a time as this. It's not an accident that you tuned in today. There is a reason, and I want you to take that reason forward. Really let the pieces that connect with you serve you and bring them forward, share them out. The biggest gift you can give the world is actually more of you. So the more aligned you become, the more you are living on purpose, the more you are creating a positive ripple out into the world. And it makes a difference, heart by heart, life by life. So wherever you go, whatever you do, May you choose to bloom where you are planted and shine. Have an amazing week, everyone, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter, next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Empowerment Channel, with a replay on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Variety Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.